So when you're done picking your name, there are a number of practical steps you want to take to get your startup off the ground. Now, there's a lot you have to do, but we'll just focus on some of the really practical things you might want to focus on. The first thing is to figure out a logo. Now, there's a lot of resources out there for you. You can use Canva or one of the many other graphic or logo design makers, or you can hire someone that's local or through Fiverr or Upwork or any of the other platforms. But get a logo made early so you can use it for many of the other things that comes next, right? Then you want to set up your social media pages. Now, that might be Facebook, Instagram, or whichever one makes sense, but set them up early so you can either become familiar with how they work on the business side, but also do a little bit of pre-marketing. That's always a good way to get some customers' attention before you actually launch the business. You also want to secure that website domain. You can use GoDaddy or some of the other resources for it, but just make sure you have that domain. Even if you're not 100% sure you're going to need a website, it's always best to have the domain secured so nobody else takes it, just in case you do need it. You also want to get a business email. In many cases, when you buy a domain name, you can purchase a email domain as well. And an email domain is not johnny@gmail.com, right? A business email is johnny@businessname.com. And that's really important for perception and sales. You also want to get a separate phone number set up for the business. Don't use your personal number. You're only going to regret it. So go and get that number set up so you can share that with your customers when you launch the business. You also then need some business cards, but of course the steps before that are important so you can put the right information on those business cards. Then don't forget to register with Google. This is easy and free to do. Just go to google.com/business and plug in the information. That way, when someone looks for you online, the information that they're going to find is going to be accurate. Your phone number, your address, your hours of operation, the links to your websites and everything. And you can control that if you register. Also, check your credit score. Even if you're not going to the bank for a loan, it's always good to check your credit score and know if it's, 600, 700 or more than that. Or in worst case scenario, if someone stole your identity and took out a credit card, well, your credit score might be 500 and you didn't know about it. Just in case you do need to go to the bank, it's always better to be prepared and avoid any potential issues. Then it's time to set up the legal structure. And we'll talk about that in another video, but it's very important you get an LLC or some other legal structure set up that's going to work for you. And once you have all of those things taken care of, now you can set up that business bank account. Please don't use your personal bank account for business income and expenses. Make sure you have a separate business bank account so you can track all your business financials. You also need to figure out payment systems. Now, you might be lucky that you're in a business where all you need is to accept cash or checks, in which case you won't really need this, but how many businesses really can live on just taking cash or checks? Most of businesses that are out there will need some sort of credit card reader or online payment systems or other ways to invoice your clients. So figure out what's the best solution for you ahead of time. You also want to set up some financial management system. This can be QuickBooks Online, it can be a spreadsheet, it can be any other system, but just have something that's more than just the bank account or receipts. Double check on liability insurance early as well. It can range a lot depending on what insurance company you go with or how they define your business industry. So just double check so you're not surprised by a liability insurance quote that might be higher than you expect. And lastly, line up 3 best friends, a CPA or an accountant, someone to help you with your financial management and tax season, and also get someone that knows the legal side of business. You don't necessarily need to hire them to do a lot of work for you right away, but it's always better to know who to call and ask for legal business advice from a professional. And of course, you also need a mentor, someone to talk to, someone to brainstorm with, someone to work with, someone to help you through the tougher times.